This is a relay project.
Real Talk starts right now. Here's Ryan Jesperson.
I want to welcome you to a very special episode of Real Talk. You know, sometimes when we're putting a talk show together, a show proves itself to be valuable, or it proves itself to be powerful throughout the episode. And we look back later on and we say, gosh, wasn't that amazing? We never saw that one coming. This one's different. This is one where I can guarantee you will be inspired. I guarantee you will be moved, but I also can almost guarantee that you may be shocked to find out about, number one, some of the challenges that young people are encountering, that they're grappling with on an everyday basis right here in our home city of Edmonton, in our home province of Alberta, and also at some of the need that exists when it comes to providing essential supports for young people that are either in and out of police custody, young people that are experiencing houselessness or food insecurity, even young adults who are pounding the pavement. They are applying for dozens, or in many cases, perhaps even more than 100 jobs without an interview, without a sniff at an opportunity to prove that they can make meaningful contributions, not just to a workplace, but to the world around them. Now, if you're a regular audience member of this show, you have heard me speak daily, glowingly, about UKAN Youth Services. And I've shared with you through those episodes why we're so proud to be partnering with the team at UKAN as they advance their work, essentially helping young people out of harm's way and onto a path of economic independence. I'll tell you right out of the gates, you can check out more on what UKAN is doing by visiting their website, youcan.ca. But why not just stick around with us as we meet some of the people that are making things happen through their Relentless outreach program for teens and young adults, as well as a couple of very, very interesting pre-employment education programs and employment placement programs like that Verto project and the Road to Work project that you've heard me talking about. There are incredible success stories graduating, so to speak, out of UKAN Youth Services. As a matter of fact, one of them is joining us on the show today, but there's still a huge need. And the team at UKAN, never one to shy away from big challenges, has just taken a big bite out of a new challenge too. And that is a new building that will, of course, afford UKAN some amazing opportunities, but also creates a scenario where they're going to have to raise some dough. We're asking for your support today. And to do that, we're going to make sure that you absolutely and clearly understand the return on investment that UKAN is providing. It's a huge honor to welcome the executive director, the team leader at UKAN Youth Services, Katie Kitschke. It's awesome to have you here. Thanks for joining us in the Real Talk studio in the historic Mercer Warehouse downtown, which is only a few blocks away from your new digs.
That's right. We're just down the street on 109th and 103rd in the old International Harvester building.
It is stunning, just south of Grant MacEwan University. Right. We'll talk about that in a bit because I suspect that there's some amazing opportunity there for young people. We're grateful to have you here anchoring our Real Talk Roundtable, so to speak, in our feature interview presented by Mercedes-Benz Edmonton West. Kaylee Willett is also sitting around our Real Talk Roundtable today. Kaylee, you are the Youth Outreach Manager, and I'm going to give you credit. In a recent meeting that you and I had at UKAN, you are the individual that so clearly helped me understand not just about the need that's out there, not just about the dire and in some cases life-threatening circumstances that young people are in, but also the work that UKAN is doing. It's an incredible team you're part of.
Absolutely, an incredible team, and honestly, the kids we support are fabulous as well. They're young people going through life, trying to make the best of their situation, which is often a really, really terrible one. So we have an amazing team around us. We have some really amazing results that we have with our young people too. So they're just fabulous kids. We really need the support.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about the partnerships that you have, the work that you're doing with the Edmonton Police Service and with other agencies, and we'll have a chance to get into that. But let's officially welcome, with respect to the two of you, our VIP today on this Real Talk Roundtable is Bryce McCartney.
For sure.
Bryce is working right now 2 months into a new job at Lux Architectural Products. But Bryce, to set the scene here, probably most relevant, you are a proud UKAN alum. Welcome to Real Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to talk to you, to be in front of all these people, and to share my story, I guess.
I understand you're an aspiring podcaster as well.
Yes, I am. Yes,
Is this your podcast debut?
It could be.
Okay.
I think it will.
Okay. So when you make it big, we're going to look back and say, we knew him when. We knew him when. That'll be awesome. Yeah. How did UKAN get on your radar, Bryce? How did UKAN enter your life? This is relatively recent, right? When you connected with the team at UKAN, we're talking this year.
Yeah. So after I turned 18, I was on independent living, so I had to go on income support. One of the requirements was to go through either a UKAN program or go to the YESS, which is just like a housing program. So I go over to UKAN to at least get an interview so I can at least start something for my career. And yeah, that's the best way to explain it. Yeah, I had to because I needed to have money from income support. That was one of my requirements.
Yeah, there's a lot of 18-year-olds out there that would have no idea probably of some of the challenges you were encountering at that time. You're 18 years of age and you're already trying to find a way to basically financially stay afloat. What were the years like leading up to that point?
Same thing, actually. When I was in high school for my grade 11 and grade 12 year, I was an independent student living in hotels for a while. Yeah. I was being paid by the FLA program, Foundational Learning Assistance Program. So I was being paid to go to school, being paid to at least pursue my education, which I did make sure I was on top of all the time. But living in a hotel, trying to go to a school, which is like a 40-minute bus ride, but it's hard to catch those bus rides, it makes it impossible. I did fail a couple classes, but I still was able to graduate high school, which apart from my other two siblings, I'm the only person that actually has done that, actually has graduated.
Where did you get that sort of fortitude within to be able to stay focused? So you're in a hotel at what, like 15, 16, 17 years old?
16 and 17.
I know a lot of kids. I can imagine that for a lot of young people, the chances of them waiting for and catching a 40-minute bus to get to school, to do the work there, to 40-minute bus back to their hotel to do the homework, and then to do it all again the next day would probably dissuade them from actually graduating high school. What was it that allowed you to stick to it?
It was the motivation that I know that I have it in my heart to be something great. I've always wanted to, when I was 16, to be an entrepreneur or anything just great. I wanted to blow up so people can see the skill I have in my heart. Because I know for a fact that people do look up to me. Like, I've influenced a lot of people, even though I was the one in those hotel rooms. People were asking me, how are you doing this? How are you able to get a job, still stay like physically fit, how to prioritize your health, your diet, like a lot of things basically.
And what do you tell them when they ask you?
I tell them, I want to do it for my future kids. I want to do it for my family that I'm going to have in the future, because I didn't get it. So I want to provide it for the next generation, basically.
When you say you didn't get it, a tough upbringing for you?
Yes. If I want to elaborate, I can go into it.
If you're comfortable.
Both my parents aren't really the best, but I still appreciate them. But my father, he was a drug dealer. Yes, he was a very hard drug dealer. Was barely around half the time. I only saw him for 2 years. Yeah. And my mom, she was great. She kept it real, like try to at least make me understand what I'm supposed to do in life. But she was never fully there to show me like love. I would always get just a bunch of traumatic experiences, the best way to put it. A lot of traumatic experiences. And it pushed me to want to be better than them, but also better than like just the people that are supposed to be my role models, because that's all I had was just those two people, and they never showed me anything like promising. They told me, oh, you have to stick to this 9-to-5 life, yada yada, you're gonna be like this for your whole entire life, and that always disappointed me. knowing that I couldn't get the things I wanted when I watched other kids get them. Like, imagine a kid in grade 5 or grade 3, and you're seeing like your other friend have like an iPhone X or something like that, basically, and it messes with you. It's like, why can't I have these things? What is stopping me from having these things? And yeah, I think I moved out around 16, around there, and it wasn't by choice. It was because they failed to pay rent. So I either lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with another person sleeping on the floor, or I claim as being an independent student and go live in hotels and just take it from there. I personally don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. It was so hard. If you have another way of like living with friends or something, do that. Don't live in a hotel room. It is cramped, makes you feel like you're lonely all the time, and the only escape you get is school. Like right now I still miss school. But
you're a remarkable young man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you like this maturity that you exude, this belief that you have in yourself, that there are great things ahead, that you will have a family, that you will set a good example for your family, that you will support your family. Was that something that came with time, or do you, when you think back to 10 or 12 or 15-year-old you, was there always that confidence within?
It was never a confidence, more of a thought that I want this for myself because no one else will give it to me. So I had to either build up the confidence to be like, I know I can do this, or it's just going to be that thought in the back of my head where it's like, I know I can do it, but I'm not confident in myself. So why should I do it? I could just be like everybody else. I could just kind of like hang around in the shadows, get like some normal 9 to 5, get some normal job that kind of like makes you doubt yourself. But instead I wanted to fuel that little fire in me. I wanted to make sure that someone at least could take that and then look at me and be like, okay, he's doing it, so why can't I do that? Why can't I be that person? Well, my main goal is just to inspire. That's the best way to put it, inspire. And I've always wanted to do that at a young age because other kids would always ask me, how are you able to go back home to this crappy life and then come to school the next day and not be like depressed, wanting to do things to yourself that you shouldn't do, basically.
Sure.
Yeah. That was a little bit of a tangent. I'm sorry, but
it's not a tangent at all. Actually, I'm sitting here completely compelled by what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's remarkable to hear. What are you, 18?
Yeah, I'm 19.
You're 19.
Yeah.
It's incredible to hear a 19-year-old speak the way that you do, most especially in the face of significant adversity.
Yeah.
I'm starting to very clearly understand why you nominated Bryce to be on this Real Talk Roundtable today.
Amazing. It's amazing.
What a testimonial. Yeah. I guess like not every young person that's going to encounter UKAN, this is a very proactive situation. This is a young person with a great deal of belief in himself and a belief in a bright future, who comes to UKAN because he knows that the program supports are there. But in many circumstances, that is not the case. I guess that's one of the things I realized very quickly about UKAN. In some cases, it's 12 and 13-year-olds that are dealing with the police, or the police are dealing with them every single day. In other circumstances, it could be human trafficking. In other circumstances, it could be, there's 100 different circumstances there.
For sure. Yeah.
So Jenna's going to be joining. Let the audience know Jenna Sparrow's going to be joining us in the back half of this roundtable. We wanted to make sure that we can get voices from sort of across the organization. But Kaylee Willett, Youth Outreach Manager, we almost have to have. This is one big conversation about UKAN, but there's kind of like the two really big outreaches or two really big programs that are happening here. You have your Road to Work and your Verto programs, these pre-employment programs. Bryce, a graduate of those. And you've also got this Relentless outreach, where you've got young people, in many cases like pre-teens, that are coming into the UKAN orbit, and in many circumstances not proactively.
For the most part, not proactively. Yeah, our program, the beautiful part of our program is our side of things is voluntary. So any involvement and engagement that these young people have with us is purely of their own volition. They choose to come and spend time with us. They see the benefit of engaging with youth support, and they see the outcomes that they receive when they do engage consistently over time as well. But you're right, many of our young people, no 12-year-old is really choosing to be deeply involved in the EPS. Like, the justice system is no place for a young person, yet we have hundreds and hundreds of children in the city finding themselves deeply entrenched in systems that they don't belong in.
Literally hundreds?
thousands probably realistically. With the growth of Edmonton's population too, we will begin to see more of these young people who begin to slip through the cracks. The goal of our program is to capture them when things are sort of starting to become a problem. We are definitely not like a first charge program. Our young people can be significantly involved. Could be 13 years old with, let's say, 200 charges under your belt, given that you've only been chargeable for 1 calendar year. You could have had that many offenses piled up in that time. The brutal part with young people is it's very, very tough to become entrenched in systems and then get your way out. It's almost impossible. But we try. We absolutely try.
And how does that happen? You've got Relentless outreach workers. People, again, can read more about that by clicking on the Our Work link at UKAN.ca. But this is in direct collaboration with like the province, right? Isn't that right? And Edmonton Police Service and other agencies?
Yeah, so we receive a lot of funding from different parts of the country, essentially. So we do receive provincial funding through Alberta Crime Prevention, which is a huge part of our program. Primarily, we receive the majority of our referrals directly from EPS. So we're kind of like a two-pronged program, where the EPS side of things is almost like the non-voluntary side. Your activity and your involvement has led to you being on this caseload. You've met the threshold of continued sustained involvement that led you to our caseload. And then the youth work component is a totally voluntary aspect. So our kids, like, we engage with them, we explain what we can do with and for them. It's up to them if they actually want to engage with us. We have about 56 kids that we get yearly from our EPS referrals, and then we take about 25 additional referrals on top of that from community referrals as well. But those EPS young people, they're, like I said, they're not choosing this lifestyle. This is the result of systemic failure, lack of resources, scarcity of certain things. Like this is what leads to them being present on our caseload and known by EPS at such a young age for not a positive reason. Yeah,
no kidding. So you've got scenarios where I guess in some circumstances you could have a young person, like we've said, and I'm not trying to be cute when I say, winding up in the back of a cop car several times a week.
Yep.
That's the reality. That's the fact.
1,000%.
So you could have some people that, let's say they're committing B&Es or something like that because they don't have money to survive. They don't have other supports, or it's all they know.
Yeah.
You may have other people that are, are experiencing trauma. Perhaps from experiencing abuse. They're survivors in different contexts of that word. You've got people that are young people. When I say people, like let's say we're talking like 12, 13, 14-year-olds living on the street, experiencing food insecurity, going to bed hungry, sleeping outside hungry, that sort of a thing. So when it comes to like the breadth of the programs that UKAN offers, or how UKAN is able to assist these young people, these very young people, at a very entry level, the very basic needs, almost a triage type circumstance. How does that all happen?
So it's like I said, it's a voluntary program. Once we say our spiel and they decide that they do want to spend time with us or engage, our biggest responsibility and our biggest goal, I would say our only goal in the first 3 or 4 months of knowing a young person, is building rapport. It's hugely important to have trust and safety and rapport in these relationships, or we will not make progress with these young people. Some of these young kids have unfortunately been involved in systems since they were really young, and they maybe have had an experience with some support staff where there wasn't much involvement or there wasn't much follow through. And so that's built up some negative feelings about what support actually looks like. And so a lot of the work that we do is breaking down the barriers built up by other systems or failures of such systems to then be able to make some sort of transformational relationship with them, so that hopefully we do get some success when it comes to the intervention side of things.
And there has been success.
1,000%, yeah.
Like, do you have you've shared some numbers with me on public safety outcomes. Do you want me to read these, or do you have them off the top of your head? I mean, when you showed me these, this blew my mind.
Yeah, feel free.
Any elected representative, any politician, don't worry guys, I'm not going to get political. You can get political if you want, Katie, but I'm not going to put you in a tough spot. But I will say this: if any politician had any sort of involvement in youth rehabilitation or youth supports or youth legislation and was delivering these results, everybody on planet Earth would know about it.
Yeah.
There would be press releases, news releases every single day, summarizing police data variances. Okay, so this is from 2023 to 2024, so a 1-year period. Involvement of young people and the judicial system. You call it the Youth 5-0, right?
Yeah, it's Y50.
Y50.
So essentially the top 50. We're at 56 now, but
okay,
yeah.
the 56 people under the age of 18 that are most interacting with Edmonton Police Service.
The most prolifically involved young offenders of the city.
As I say, the list you do not want on. You don't want your kid on this list.
No.
But here we are in 2024. For young people on that Y50 or the Y56 list now, all occurrences, a 53% reduction in offenses. Am I reading this number correctly?
Correctly,
When it
yeah.
comes to violence violations, as a society, we're talking about this a lot right now. It's on the radar. Police are talking about violence. People are talking about whether or not they feel safe downtown, feel safe in their communities. With violence violations, a 64% reduction in incidents, correct?
Yep.
Property violations, B&Es, vandalism, and the like, a 51% reduction. And breach and warrant violations, a 40% reduction. If it was 5 to 10%, people would be wowed.
Yep.
Katie, we're talking about a 64% reduction in violence-related violations.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
it is.
You've been with the organization now for about a year?
Just over a year.
Just
yeah.
over a year. When you were made privy to some of these statistics, how did you wrap your mind around them?
A very pleasant shock. But a shock in some ways, but in other ways, I see these guys. I see how relentless they are in the work they do with the young people. And I mean, that goes for both sides of it, both Kaylee's program and our employment program. Our staff are so proud to be relentless in their outreach for these young people. So, you know, in the past, they may have had youth workers that would try and connect with them, and when they didn't respond, they just went, well, I tried. They didn't respond. But our team goes out and finds them where they are. And if it's sitting in a park chatting, or driving them to their parole officer visit, or visiting them in jail, our staff go wherever they are, and they'll make those connections relentlessly.
I love that word,
Yeah.
relentless. You guys, do you guys sell your merch publicly? By the way, I'm very jealous. I've seen these relentless T-shirts and relentless. I think you need to get these on your website. Can I offer that little bit of feedback?
sure. We're working on it.
because the design is amazing, and you're formerly the founder of UKAN in Edmonton, and the fearless leader for a couple of decades. Kyle Dubé, I know, may he rest in peace, proudly wore that relentless shirt
Totally.
almost everywhere he went. It
Totally.
seemed. I want to be clear just to our audience, Bryce, that you're an alum of the Road to Work program. This is like a pre-employment placement program. But when Kaylee is talking about the Relentless program, which is these young people in and out of trouble with the law, young people struggling to survive, you were listening very intently. You were nodding the whole time. It appeared that like the things that she was saying were really resonating with you, almost as though as that you didn't participate in that program earlier in your life, but it was like you were connecting with almost everything she was saying.
I guess you can say that. There was a lot of people that I did surround myself with beforehand that have would have gone through that program if they haven't changed their ways. And like people I know even recently now would probably be in this program, but I myself make sure that they don't go down that path, because even though it's a great program, it just sucks to find yourself in it in the first place, because it's like whoever you surrounded yourself with put you in that position. It's not really like a choice. It's more like you want to fit in.
That's such a good insight from him, isn't it? It
100%.
resonates with you.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
it. Like,
And
go ahead.
sorry, I was just going to say, and just listening to Bryce's story, it makes you realize, you know, that he was at a point in his life where he could have chosen that path. And, you know, sitting here listening to him, we see that he consciously made that decision to better his life, where sometimes young people, they don't choose that path. They choose the easier one. We heard how hard it was for you, you know, and sometimes, you know, going out and selling drugs or being part of that life is the easier life, it seems, you know. So I think I was also, when she was talking, I was thinking about Bryce and how he was probably at a crossroads at one point in his life, and how thankful we are that we're here today with you.
Oh, for sure. And I'm thankful for the original creator of the UKAN program. Forget his name already.
Kyle
Kyle.
Dubé.
Kyle Dubé, may he
There's
rest in
actually-
peace.
Let's talk about Kyle for a second. He appeared on this show shortly before he passed away. He passed away suddenly and unexpectedly, and it was a shock to everybody, including us. And I know that everybody dearly misses him. You've left across your main banner on your website a tribute to Kyle, and people in memory of Kyle Dubé can check out a video of him, including his absolute tomfoolery. This guy was a riot, and just a really incredible human being. Real Talkers will remember Kyle on this program, talking about the passing of his son Luke, and how his family had managed that that crisis, that heartbreak, obviously. But it was obvious that every time he talked, look at him, Denver. People are listening on the podcast, so we got to describe it for him. But he's like, some of his wardrobe choices at your UKAN comedy nights, and just the way, I mean, this guy was larger than life, and obviously brought everything that he had to this program. You stepped into some really big shoes, Katie.
Oh, did I ever?
Didn't you?
Yeah.
And so you come in and you see this organization that's making a difference in the lives of. We'll talk about your future projections in a second. But how many youth right now today participating in UKAN? It's well over 100.
Oh yeah.
Is it over 200
for the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be, I think, about 250 for the year.
So you step into this organization, an organization that's reeling from a major loss.
Literally. Yeah.
That cannot have its programs interrupted for obvious reasons,
Yep.
because there are young people whose lives depend on it.
That's right.
How did you approach the job? How did you approach the task? How did you lean on your team? How have you done it?
Oh, I took a deep breath. After learning about UKAN, actually, how I got to UKAN, to just go back a little bit, is one of Kyle's really good friends was my boss at the Mustard Seed.
Right.
And after Kyle passed, we actually saw each other at a conference, and he said, I just want you to think about it, but I think you'd be amazing as the executive director at UKAN. And I said, I'm not even looking for a job. And he said, I know, but I just think you'd be amazing at it. I forwarded your name onto the board, and we'll just see what happens. And so then I looked into UKAN and watched Kyle on his podcasts. And one of the first things I said when I got the job was, "You will not see me dancing around with fireworks behind me." And
not yet.
Well, I don't know. It was very much a Kyle thing. So, but like you say, such big shoes to fill. He was so beloved, not only by our staff, but by the whole community. He was larger than life, and he had a way of being able to engage people and bring them in and see why their support was so important at UKAN.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really remarkable. It is. And I want to get into, make sure that the audience is clear on how many programs there are like this, and how many programs like this across the country there are. And the answer is not many. And also the need. And I also want to really have a chance to talk about the future of UKAN, because the future is very bright, and you have a bold vision, all of you. I love even Bryce is nodding. He's like, yup. I feel like the sky is the limit with you, man.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, I really do. I'm sure that maybe you're getting used to people saying that to you, but you've made a real impression on me in our brief period of time here talking. And what an incredible success story this is. We're not done talking to you yet. We're of course going to continue this conversation. This is our feature interview, this Real Talk Roundtable presented by our friends at Mercedes-Benz Edmonton West. Real Talkers, if we know anything, we know that there are other graduates of the UKAN program that are listening to this. Some of you perhaps didn't even expect to catch this roundtable, and it's landing with you in a big way. And I also guarantee that there are people, maybe it's aunties, maybe it's cookums, maybe it's grandmas and grandpas, maybe it's brothers and sisters, maybe it's employers or former employers, teachers, principals, you name it, that right now are hearing these three talk and saying, I know someone who could desperately use and greatly benefit from UKAN Youth Services. If that's the case, again, I want to make sure that you send them directly to ucan.ca. That's where you'll be able to make contact with this team that's hanging out with us here right now. More with these three in just a moment. And don't forget, you can always email the show by sending us a note to talk@ryanjesperson.com.
Edmonton is here because the river is here. So we care for it, protect it, share it. The water of the North Saskatchewan sustains all of us. It's a big job to treat and deliver it, river to tap, to over 1 million people, so you can have and enjoy a glass of the Sask. On tap, made local by Epcor.
Let me tell you how Albertans are winning right now with Play Alberta. Alberta wins with Play Alberta, not only because it's the most safe and secure way to bet casino, sports, and lottery online, and not only because all of the revenue goes right back to the province, but Albertans win big every single day. 10, 50, Even as much as $100,000 is won daily on Play Alberta. They've even made millionaires. And best of all, for a limited time only, new players can receive a $1,000 casino bonus. You can download the Play Alberta app anywhere you get your apps, and you can always check out playalberta.ca for more details. Check out all the great offers and get started today with Play Alberta. Our friends at Friesen Brothers celebrating a big anniversary this year. 2025 is their 70th year doing business in the province of Alberta, putting good, locally grown and produced food on Alberta dinner tables. Yeah, that's right. What started off as a humble lone butcher shop opened by Frank Loveson in the beautiful mountain town of Hinton, Alberta, has now grown to 16 different locations. Still family owned, and you can tell when you go into a Friesen Brothers, it just hits different. You can learn more about the company, the family, the remarkable family behind it, authentically Albertan from the very beginning, on their website at friesen.com. That's FRESON.com. And of course, click around for details on some of the different promotions that they have going to mark that big 70th year anniversary. Don't forget, the 1st of October, your next chance to save 15% off your grocery purchases of $75 or more. That's the first of every month, only at Friesen Brothers. And our friends at North Road Investment Council reaching out to real talkers working in detail-driven professions. You know, as wealth or financial advisors, as retirement planners, the team at North Road does a lot of work with clients that have worked as architects, as physicians, as dentists, as engineers. They are the steady hand and the studied voice to guide you through wealth and investing. North Road Investment Council knows that life's financial journey doesn't always follow a straight path. And that's why their Edmonton-based team, led by Marshall and Carrie, partners with discerning families, foundations, and associations on that winding path, providing expert navigation through the complexities of wealth accumulation and investment advisory services. If you're listening anywhere across Canada, the team at North Road would love to open a conversation with you. You can check out what sets them apart, what makes them different, by visiting northroadic.com. How cool to be hanging out with Katie Kitschke, Executive Director, Kaylee Willette, a Youth Outreach Manager, and Bryce McCarty, a proud alum of UKAN Youth Services. Why don't we talk a little bit? I think that it makes sense. Bryce, obviously, like just an incredible example of what's possible here, and not only I think that the opportunities that UKAN can create, but how it can take a young person like Bryce. Pardon us while we talk about you while you're sitting right here in front of us, Bryce. But take someone with an incredible amount of potential that's encountering challenges that the average person wouldn't even be able to wrap their mind around, let alone navigate. But you're doing that, of course, helping very young people, 12 to 17, through this Relentless outreach program. But these employment programs, the Road to Work and the Verto program, really are something special and quite unique, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. They really are. Yeah, so they are 18 to 25-year-olds that we work with. And like Bryce mentioned, he was in the Road to Work program. So it's a construction-based pre-employment program. It's a 7-week. I don't know if you were in for 7 weeks or the 5-week.
I think it was 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6
we
weeks.
just recently went through some changes there, but yeah, we really just get them all taught up on you know what the expectations are going to be in those kinds of roles, and as many certificates as we possibly can get them, we do. So they go through all kinds of training, and so that when they do get to the employment phase, employers look at their resume and go, well, why wouldn't I hire you?
Yeah.
You know, you've got right from your first aid to your fall protection and everything else. And so right off the hop, we're saving those employers a big chunk of money because they don't have to put those young people through the training. And then they also have us as kind of a reference to say, this person showed up a program every day. They were never late. You know, they showed up with enthusiasm, and they wanted this as much as we wanted it for them.
They're motivated
Totally.
and ready for that, to walk through the door that's being opened.
Yeah.
In front of them. What was the experience like for the 6 weeks that you were participating in that Road to Work program? Was it like, my understanding is that like you learned to use some power tools, like it's like some, you know, like Katie said, you're going to get a lot of your training done. Had you had exposure to stuff like that before?
When I was younger, yes, I did. My mother dated a guy who he used a lot of power tools, so he taught me a lot of things when I was there, when I was like living with him. So when I first got to UKAN and they were teaching us about these things, I was like, I know what that is. I know what a linesman is. I know what a power drill or a sawzall is. So I was just kind of like, it was all clicking in my brain like gears, just constantly rolling and rolling. But what I would say is that this program is very laid back a little bit. Like, yeah, they do teach you, but you don't have to stress yourself out about it. They let you reel into it real slowly. You don't have to like be like, oh, I have to be here like 6 a.m. No, this is normal. This is like a normal 9 to 5 p.m., 4:30. And some days they don't even let you out on 4:30. They let you out earlier. So, but they pay for the whole day.
Oh, wow. So this is kind of like you're I don't know if mimicking is the right word, but you're setting the tone, or you're mimicking a workplace environment.
For sure. Yeah. That's the intention behind it. So that, they're going from our program and being expected to work 8 hours a day. And, if that's something they're not used to, that can be a huge obstacle, and that can cause them not to continue their employment because they just don't have the capacity to be somewhere for 8 hours a day and be able to concentrate. And as I'm thinking of the word, concentrate. And
was that a bit right there? That was really good. If it was
unfortunately not, but yeah, it does. So even as we talk about the programs all the time. So it's not like we've created these programs 20 years ago and we're still doing the same things we were doing 20 years ago. In fact, we finish a cohort, a group of young people, and then we look at that cohort and we go, okay, what did we do good? What could we do better? And so that's why I'm saying, I don't know if you were for the 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, because we look at it and we go, okay, maybe we need that extra week because we need to do more job site visits because, that was missing in this piece. So it is something that continuously we're working on improving.
So how many, fellow, what do you call yourself? Are you a participant, a client, a student? What do you say at UKAN? A participant, let's say. How many fellow young people or how many other participants in your cohort or in your class in the Road to Work program?
Well, there was 12 of us, including me. I technically wasn't even supposed to be there. Someone else dropped out and I took their place.
Really?
Yeah, this was like divine intervention.
The universe wanted you there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so and I would imagine though, of those 12 people, you and the 11 others, everybody's got their own story. Everybody's dealing with their own stuff. Everybody's got their own different challenges. Did you get to know over those 6 weeks your colleagues?
Yeah, we're all like family, basically, the best way to put it. Like we all connected, bonded. Everyone was really sad to leave, like to go to their own jobs, because it's like, oh, I'm not gonna see you again. This is the last time. We can keep in touch, but we're gonna be working full time now. So
yeah, good problem to have.
Yeah, it is.
Can you tell us about the posters that are up on the wall in there with the stars on them? I know the audience would love it.
Oh man, there is like hundreds of names, and so how they have it is they're little poster boards, and there's stickers, and then there's just the word hired. The stickers mean you got interviews, and then the word is just hired. And there was like at least, I would say over 80% of the board was just hired. All of them were hired, meaning it kind of reassured you that I'm just not going to be here and like, oh, after this, I'm not going to have a job. I'm going to have something. Something's going to be lined up for me, no matter what.
Yeah, you're like fighting a smile as you're saying this. It's like you get more enthusiastic as you talk about it.
Yeah.
How did the job interview process go for you? Did you get your first one? Did you have to do 10 of them? Take us through your journey.
Could you elaborate more? Do you mean like
so when you're participating or you're ready to graduate from that Road to Work program, now it's time to get to the job interviews, right? Now it's time to go and get that job and enter the real world and start earning those paychecks and get that next phase of your life ready to go. Did you get the job at Lux Architectural Products? Nice little plug for them there. Did you get the job there? Was that your first interview, or did you have to do a few interviews with different companies, or how did it go?
So there was a couple interviews. The Lux wasn't my final offer, but it was the one that I went with. There is one called TGO, the Great Outdoors Alberta. They're a landscaping company. I was also offered that by my facilitator. So any of the jobs that I've been giving, they were partners of the UKAN. And I did technically have small little interviews because I will have work site visits. So we visit Black K McDonald, RP's, a lot of companies. And during those times, you can ask the main owner of the company or the people who work there, how much do you make? What can I do to become a part of this company? Like all the basic questions. And yeah, it was really intimidating at first. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, it is for anybody that's
Yeah.
entering the workforce, that's entering a new job market. You know, that's not just exclusive to you. I remember being absolutely petrified when I was at that stage in my
Yeah.
life. As a matter of fact, when I was 19, like you are, I was a hot mess. So you're doing much better than I am. What's it like to walk back into UKAN HQ and let everybody know that you've just signed an employment agreement, that you've just been hired? Talk to me about that.
So it's a process. So you walk in, there is this bell you ring.
Yeah.
You let it go, and then because we were, like I said, we are a family, right? Everyone in that place will stop what they're doing, no matter what they're doing, come out, give you a little, give us a little claps around, be like, surprise, congratulations, you finally did it, you finally got what you wanted out of this program. And yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I didn't do it, actually.
You didn't do it?
No, I haven't rung the bell yet.
Can we send a camera when you go do it?
Oh, for sure. You can see.
This is a social media moment.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
I think we need to get your bell ringing done. Why is it? Because they needed you to start right away?
Yes. And I didn't find the time. I didn't find the time to come back to ring the bell.
Oh, you got to get that bell rung.
Yeah.
So if I can just do a shout out for Lux, he's currently employed. He's working today. And so when we were hoping to bring a young person to this program, we reached out to them and they said, without hesitation, we'd love to be able to send Bryce.
And so you've been there just 2 months.
Yes.
And they're already very proud of you, it sounds like.
For sure.
Well, I've already gotten a raise in different positions.
Atta boy, there you go.
good job, Bryce.
A raise already in your first 2 months.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you found a really good fit there?
Oh, for sure. I am more technical than I am physical. Like, I am a very strong person, but I like being technical with things. So they switched me from being from an entry level position to more custom. So now I do custom things, like more to a customer's needs instead of just basic orders.
Very cool. You can be creative
Yes.
and utilize those skills that you learned. This is, and I want to show Lux some love here as well, because I just know how things work, and people are going to hear this, and Bryce is going to get like 15 job offers right after this thing airs. So I might have to buy the team at Lux around a lunch or something like that if that happens, Bryce. I'm just joking, buddy. We're not going to put you in a tough spot. But let me talk to you about these partnerships that you have, these corporate partnerships, employer partnerships. Did I tell you about the conversation that I had with a guy that owns like he owns a ton of Tim Hortons in town? Did I tell you about this?
No.
When I was lucky enough to pop by your new HQ, the new UKAN headquarters, which is absolutely stunning and beautiful. So this guy comes up to me and he goes, I got a bone to pick with you. And I said, okay. I mean, that's not the first time.
People ask,
and he's got
probably.
this little smirk. And so I figured, and he goes, I listen to Real Talk all the time. And he says, you're always mentioning IKEA as a big corporate partner, as a big partner of UKAN. And he says, and I haven't heard you mention Tim Hortons once. And I said, I didn't know Tim Hortons was a partner. And we start laughing. And then he gives me a couple like deep cuts where I'm like, oh, this guy listens to like every episode. Just a beauty, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I said, well, first things first, I will correct that next week. And I think we showed Timmy some love for like 5 straight shows.
Nice.
But I got serious and I said, talk to me about the types of contributions or the difference in your corporate culture that you're seeing when you're partnering with UKAN, when you're hiring UKAN grads. And he just was singing the organization's praises. Now there's many corporate partnerships, obviously. I know that many in the construction industry as well, but how important are those and what opportunities are there for employers that are listening right now going, gosh, you've got a motivated, educated, reliable workforce ready to go at a time where hiring right now can be a real pain in the butt for a lot of organizations.
Yeah. And that's the thing when we talk to our business partners, that's exactly what they say. We're so grateful for them and they say, no. We're grateful for you because, hiring isn't as easy as it used to be. And sometimes you'll get 100 resumes and you'll reach out to 10 people and 2 people will show up for an interview.
Right.
And they have no skills in the area you're looking for. And so we specifically have those skills. We reach out to employers and connect with employers that need exactly what we can provide. And that's those entry-level youth that are just so eager to be employed. And so Jason is Tim Hortons.
Yeah, what a beauty.
What a beauty. So he is actually the new sponsor of our bell. So So that's
He's
kind
the sponsor of the bell that people ring when they get a job?
Yes.
Oh, what a great
But
sponsorship.
Jason started at Tim Hortons washing windows when he was 14 years old.
Really?
And now he owns 5 Tim Hortons.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so he gets it. He gets, starting entry level, there is a possibility. He said, I can't wait until we have managers that we hired at UKAN. I can't wait to come back and say, look at this person I hired 2, 3, 5 years ago. Now they own a Tim Hortons. So he gets it. He gets what we're doing. He's actually going to bring us in front of the owners, all the owners in Edmonton of Tim Hortons, to talk about our program.
Yeah.
So
there's there's probably going to be employers right now that are listening to this or watching this that an hour and a half ago weren't thinking that they were going to reach out to this nonprofit to establish this big partnership. But it strikes me as Bryce is working in the creative arts, sheet metal at this building. You've got people that are serving coffee and helping people at the Canadian institution that is Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
You got people that are working to assemble furniture. I would imagine retail workers. He mentioned an opportunity in landscaping.
Yep.
I know road construction's been a huge one for you guys. Sure. It strikes me that there could be a fit for people on just a huge range of industries here.
For sure.
So how does an employer know if it's worth reaching out to you or if there could be a fit for them?
You know what? They'd reach out anyways, and we have a conversation, and we talk about, and it's funny because I'm thinking of myself, but I'm thinking also everybody here. When we have a conversation with somebody, our first thing we say is, do you hire entry-level staff? And if they say no, then we go, okay, well, then maybe you might not be a good contact for that employment part, but do you want to hear about what we're doing? Because maybe you want to be a supporter of our organization, because maybe that you entry level, but maybe Bryce, keeps working at Lux, develops those skills, and becomes that mid-level staff member that those people might potentially hire, 5 years down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is from start to finish. Kaylee, as we're talking about this, and I've been watching it on your face as you've been sitting here listening to your colleague and listen to Bryce talk about his success story here. What really lands with me is how unique this programming is and how it's filling, not just a void, but it seems to me to be filling several voids where supports have not existed before or do not exist outside of this program.
100%. Specifically for the Relentless program, or just generally across
Generally speaking.
generally? Absolutely. Young people don't belong in the justice system, and they don't belong struggling to find employment and to feed themselves and clothe themselves. To have programs like this that not only bring them in, meet them where they're at, build them up as independent, give them the confidence and motivation to do it themselves, not handhold. We're not a hand-holding program. Kyle's motto always was we'll do as much work as you, as long as you put your best foot forward. We'll match the energy that you're putting forward, and we see that with our young people all the time. They come in exactly like the thing says. So on the employment side, absolutely, to give a young person the chance to look after themselves and have the motivation to, and the capacity. We're big on capacity building. Many young people come to us without the confidence to even just make a phone call to call someone about a job. A lot of the work that they do in that program is building the confidence to cold call, to send emails, to write a cover letter appropriately, all those basic foundational steps that you maybe wouldn't have confidence in because maybe nobody showed you, or maybe you didn't get a really, really good time with those guardians or parents, that kind of thing. On our side as well, absolutely. Success for us is engagement. We love to hear about the stats and the crime reduction, and that's what taxpayers like to hear, and that's what people who send their kids to public school want to hear, because we're making those communities safer. For us as well, it sounds silly, but we measure success in every little bit. So every little bit of engagement or buy-in or trust or rapport or continued engagement with us is a huge success for us. We help kids in almost anything. I'm a big believer in if it's safe, healthy, and legal, we will support you in that endeavor. It doesn't really matter outside of it what that means.
That's a good criteria.
It is
safe, healthy, and legal.
That's not often what we're typically dealing with. It's almost the inverse of that. So we try to steer in that direction. But it could be anything. Like you said, basic needs is a huge thing. How can you go to school? How can you go to work if your tummy's empty? How can you focus in class if your tummy's empty? How can you go home to a stressful situation knowing we don't have internet tonight, so I can't do my homework tonight?
Yeah,
there's
or
so
even
many
to acknowledge those where home is not a safe space at all.
Or maybe no home. Many of our young people do struggle with home instability, and some of our young people are homeless or houseless. Some of them are released from custody into houselessness, and that is a really, really challenging problem to solve. When you have all of the criteria, we want to meet basic needs. We want to also meet employment and education. Some of these young people, COVID was a real kind of detour from mainstream education for a lot of young people who sat on their butts on their laptop for 2 years. So many of our young people are 15, 16, and we're 4 or 5 grades below where we should be. So that's not building confidence or you don't want to go to school when you don't feel confident or smart. And you're 5 grades below where you should be, and there isn't enough support staff to support your needs, so we just don't go to school anymore. So our goal is really anything. Like, it could be meet basic needs. After we've built that rapport, school, education, recreation, even fun. Like, a lot of the the most joyful part of our job is letting young people be young people and not have to think about food and rent and where am I going to stay and who am I keeping safe tonight or where am I going to crash my head. A lot of it is just giving the opportunity to be kids again. A lot of our young people, specifically these 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, have been parentified through their experience. And so they're forced to think about the world in much more big adult ways, and they really shouldn't have to. So if we're able to let young people be young people for a second, that is the best outcome we could ever want. It's just to not have to think about the justice system for a second or the police involvement. It's just being kids too.
It's so remarkably well said, and I guarantee that there's moments here for people that are listening to this that are going, "Gosh, you know, what's that phrase there? But by the grace of God, there go I." Right?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of idea of like understanding, like you said, for a young person. And again, we're talking about, like, in some cases, pre-teens.
Yeah.
We're talking about people that are like 13.
Puberty hasn't happened yet.
Puberty hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
And you're saying, wouldn't that be nice for them to be able to take a break from thinking about the justice system or thinking about this for but a moment? And I'm going, gosh, I'm just being like slapped in the face with my own privilege and grateful for it. But at the same time, I know that if I know anything about this engaged and empathetic audience, I think that the picture that you are painting here, led by this guy and articulated by this guy, is I think going to really make sure that UKAN is all over the radar. Bryce, we're going to make way for Jenna Sparrow to join us on the roundtable to talk about some fundraising, but I have to shake your hand. Sure. I am so impressed by you, my man. And if it's cool with you, I'm just going to look to this as the beginning of a beautiful friendship. You shared with us that you have an interest in podcasting. I want you to consider us to be in your corner. And consider this to be an official invitation to connect with us anytime you like for insights on podcasting. If you want to sit and watch us do an episode, want to hang out, learn a little bit more about the craft, we've got the best technical director in the province of Alberta right now, and Johnny Infamous. So I'm proud to call you a new friend. I'm so proud of your journey to this point, and we wish you the absolute best. Thank you for making time for us on the show today.
And thank you, Ryan. This has been a great experience and a great time to express what I want to express. Basically.
What a remarkable young person you are, Bryce, and we can't wait to watch you forge this career and all the other stuff as well. I love that you mentioned the family life that you one day envision. That's absolutely beautiful.
Just you wait, basically.
Good stuff. Just you wait. I love that, brother. All right, so we'll say goodbye to Bryce. Jenna's going to join us in that brief moment. I'll just remind you that these conversations, these incredibly powerful conversations on Real Talk, happen with the support of sponsors like our friends at California Closets of Canada. Make the most of your space with California Closet's custom organizational systems. This is a proud Canadian-owned and operating company manufacturing everything they install in the province of Alberta, and all of it is guaranteed for life. The California Closet's journey starts with a free design consultation. That's what my wife Carrie and I did back in 2016 when we realized that, well, our primary bedroom needed some help, that's for sure. And, our entertainment center, that definitely needed some help because it didn't exist. And, we needed to figure out some storage in some other areas of the home as well. And, but here was our problem. We didn't have like $1 million to spend. So we went to the team at California Closets and we said, here's the square footage, here's the vision, here's the budget. And they worked magic. It's guaranteed for life, and I can tell you, installed in 2017, looking back now 8 years later, it still looks as good as the day it went in. California Closets can custom design an installation to fit your space and your budget, and it all starts with that conversation, a free consultation that you can book today by visiting californiaclosets.ca. And our friends at Solar by Kubi reminding you that it's not too late to get those panels up on your roof or anywhere else before the snow flies, and it's never been easier to get solar. As a matter of fact, green energy goals have never been more accessible than they are right now with the Canada Greener Homes Loan and other programs. The team at Kubi, that's KUBY.ca, they're experts in all of the grants and different funding that's available, so you connect with them, and then they can fill out all the paperwork for you. How good is that if you're like me? Paperwork is where everything falls apart. Kubi is solar simplified and people Power, delivering trusted solar power expertise and exceptional quality, caring as much about your experience as the environment they protect. You can reach out today for a free solar quote by visiting their website. That's kubi.ca. Make sure you let them know that Real Talk sent you. As we say hello to Jenna Sparrow. Jenna is the Fund Development Manager at UKAN, and I love that you're rocking your Relentless t-shirt.
Right? Yes, I know. I was
There
like, I
you
should have
go.
brought you one.
Well, hey, we'll find time. I love,
Yeah,
I
there we
like
go,
to pop
yeah.
in with you guys as often as possible, and so I'll hit you up for a t-shirt.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
you have recently joined this organization, and you come with a wonderful reputation of being able to get things done, and quite frankly, boy, do you have a big job ahead of you.
Honestly, hey, yeah, exactly. I mean, we obviously mentioned that we got this new building, and that's been kind of the project. My first week, my third day, we found out we got the building, and so it has been running towards this building since. So it's been honestly such a blast though to join the team, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I was watching you sit sort of just off camera here, and you just had a smile on your face the whole time listening to the team, and it's obviously something that you're very proud to be a part of. What has struck you in your first number of months with the organization?
Oh my gosh, so many things. It's just been absolutely fantastic. My background in education is youth work, and I never haven't used it for years. And so to come back into being able to use the skills from fund development and join a team that is making a huge difference in countless youth has been just awesome. And being able to work with the team and also hear the youth stories, right? Like right now we have this one gentleman that's in our program that every time he sees one of the managers, do you have a moment can I ask you a question? And he's wanting to learn from everybody. And so just the willingness and ready, willing, able is what we talk about with our youth. And it's been really amazing to see.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So what's the reality here, Katie? You've just managed to secure this beautiful building, and it's not, by the way, it's not like some warehouse in the middle of nowhere. You guys got your hands on this stunning historic building,
Prime real estate.
Prime real estate, right in the heart of downtown. We're going to be showing some people. They'll see visuals here. I did a little walkthrough
Nice.
tour. I was trying to fly
Nice.
under the radar and
Nice.
do a little walkthrough of the space, but all I can think of is how much potential there is. What is the new? First of all, why the new space, and second of all, how will it change UKAN's offerings?
So the new space was a necessity. When I started a year ago at UKAN, the board said to me, "We need a new building." So this is the list of priorities. Where will you put the new building? And I said, well, probably at the bottom of the list, because there were other things on that priority list that I thought were potentially more important. And then my first day, I was shown around the building, and the staff were like, well, here's some cracks in the walls, and here's where we have to buddy up and share this desk. And I saw right that first day that it wasn't going to last, this space. We had no potential for growth. We had no potential to take more young people, to expand our programs in this building, simply because of the lack of space. Also, the cracks in the walls. Some of the doors didn't close properly, and it had its little quirks. But then I found out that Kyle was very well aware of these issues, and he had been planning for years to actually purchase a building. And thankfully, he had actually even put some money away that enabled us to put a down payment on the building, which was phenomenal. Had he not done that, had he not done a feasibility study before I even got there, we still wouldn't be in the building. So he put those building blocks in place so that I could just come in and find the right fit and then continue his path. And we had looked at some buildings in our price range throughout the city. Number one was it had to be a good fit for transportation. Mm-hmm. A lot of our young people take the bus, like Bryce was talking about. And in our old space, they could take the bus kind of close, but even in -30 weather, they were still having to walk sometimes 5-10 minutes, even up to a half an hour to get to our space. We have a bus stop outside the front door. It's literally 5 steps from our front door. Yeah. And we're going to be close to the Valley Line LRT, and McEwen is down the street. And most buses from, the outlying communities, and definitely within Edmonton, go to that downtown core. So that was most important for us. But boy, when we walked in that building, I knew it. I walked in, didn't even really look at anything else except the front entrance. And I said, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it for us.
Yeah. I feel like, Jen, I haven't even, I'm going to get to the end of this conversation. I'm going to go, gosh, I could have mentioned that and that and that, because every time I have a chance to visit, every time I have a chance to talk to your team and see it in action, and when I'm lucky enough to be a fly on the wall when actually some of these classes, these pre-employment classes are in session, and just try to keep a respectful distance, but just look at these young people like Bryce that are so eager, I think grateful for the opportunity and eager to really make an impact. And it's just, you can't help but be inspired. But like, we haven't even touched on like cost-free counseling that can be available, and like kitchen space to help young people with food security. As you're walking through, you were kind enough, you and Katie, to tour me through that new space, and it was really neat to hear you guys kind of brainstorming on what's going to go where. The counseling thing is a huge angle.
Yeah, exactly. And so currently right now we don't have a private counseling space. So they're moving into just offices. And so people are getting moved out of their spaces to obviously incorporate counseling for our youth. So currently our youth do have access to some counseling when they're in our programs. We want to expand that.
Mental health counseling.
Yeah, there's a ton of mental health counseling not available right now. And we want to make that available. And so we have a space that's ready to go. We just are working on getting funding to frame the door in so that it can be a private space. So that's like one opportunity that we're working towards. And there's not a lot, like luckily this building is absolutely beautiful. So there's not a ton of work that we needed to get into this space. However, there is now, to be able to expand our programs, that's now where the work is coming. So we're building a wood shop to be able to support our Road to Work program in-house. Currently, they're going out for their tool time. So that's our biggest project in the building. And then also retrofitting a couple new classrooms. Talked about kitchens. We talked about holistic kind of approach, and we want to make sure kids have their bellies fed.
Yes.
And so we don't currently have a space for them to cook. We have a kind of makeshift kitchen right now, but we're working to try to build some walls around a kitchen for them. Hopefully be able to get a stove in there so that they can come, have access to food. We try to keep our kitchen cabinets stocked and the fridge stocked for things that they can come and grab.
How do you do that? Are you partnering with Edmonton's Food Bank, or is that how you're doing it?
Yeah, so we're one of the agency partners with the Food Bank, which is such a fantastic partnership.
Blessing, truly a blessing.
Yeah, I'm sure like Kaylee's program uses it quite a bit as well to make sure that all the kids that have access, right? Because food insecurity is huge in our city. And
we also have opportunities for different groups to come in and provide meals for our young people.
Oh yeah.
So we actually had Bimbo bakeries come in, and most people are like, Bimbo bakeries. They own all of the Dempsters and
oh really?
Yeah,
Wendy's
and,
bread,
yeah,
like everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
geez.
they're actually quite huge in South and Central America as well. But yes, they contacted us and said we would love to come and cook some food, and also they donated a vehicle full of baked goods. And so we'd love to be able to cook a meal for your young people, and then also provide all of these baked goods for them to take home. So we've done that with Bimbo, and the Little Potato Company is actually going to be doing it with us as well.
What a great Canadian success story they are.
Right. And so the great thing about that one as well is Heather's going to come in and she's going to talk about her experience. So kind of like Jason with Tim Hortons, she has an experience of how she got that company to be a world-renowned company.
Yes.
Started here. And so that's what also is as a potential for employers is maybe you don't hire entry-level youth, but you want to come in and talk to them and inspire them. So we always have opportunities for that as well.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Ever since you told me about something, and this is maybe a small detail about the Road to Work program specifically, it has totally changed the way I feel about being stuck in traffic. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, totally.
So everybody will know, not many people love being stuck in traffic.
Right.
But what do you call these things? Like, everyone's seen the wood, like the orange wood kind of dividers that they used to close traffic lanes, right? Like the stand-up wood orange dividers. Everyone's seen them. So your youth are building these, like this new wood shop. You're going to have the young people learning how to run saws, learning how to use nail guns, the drills, whatever they're using, right? Constructing these things.
Totally.
And ever since you told me that a couple of months ago, every time I sit in traffic, I'm looking, I'm like inspecting them, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if a UKAN youth made those. It's actually, it's like a seed. And here now, Real Talk, I'm trying to pass it along to you, so you guys can find some reason for optimism when you're stuck in traffic for 15 minutes.
Totally.
But I honestly, seriously, every time I see one now, I wonder wonder if a UKAN Youth has
And
made it.
they probably did.
Yeah.
They probably did. I think we do. I always get the number wrong, and Tim always corrects me.
265.
265. Yeah, a week.
200. So you do 1,000 a month. Wow.
Yeah, and so they bring. Currently, we don't have our shop quite fixed yet. We have a wall, but so they will potentially, once we have the shop, they'll bring all of the materials there, and then our young people will learn, what it takes to be able to create these. And because you can't just slap the wood together and throw paint on it, it has to be measured.
Of course.
It has to be very precise. And so, chances are, if you've seen those road barricades, our young people have made the legs for those barricades.
I just love it.
Yeah.
So you've got that. You've got this new wood shop. I think that it probably, when people, members of this audience and members of the public that haven't been aware of this before, learn about some of this cost-free mental health counseling that's available there, that's just like one of the things that are provided. But I'll tell you, every time we talk mental health on this show, there's comments in the chat that are heart-wrenching from people that are saying, I need help, or I know somebody who needs help, but cost is always a barrier. That's a huge deal, and that's a huge thing that UKAN is offering. What's striking me from like a fund development standpoint is incredible opportunities for participation, opportunities for partnership. So you're looking to raise what, like $2.5 million, right?
$2.5 million. Yeah, we launched our capital campaign on Wednesday, so it's fresh, brand new.
Yeah.
And we are about 1% raised. So we're
I saw that. I was just checking it.
Yeah,
and,
it's live on our
listen,
website.
Can I be honest with you? This
Yeah.
is real talk. So we go to the website and it's youcan.ca/building hope.
Correct,
And
yeah.
I'm scrolling down here and I see amount raised. I'm not laughing.
No,
well, I am laughing.
is.
I am laughing.
Good.
But I'm like, goal 2.5 million, raised 33,000, which is not a joke, by the way.
No.
33,000. It says 1%. I go, oh, I wonder if they want me to show that. but I think you do want me to show it because you've got 2.497
still a good
million
chunk to go.
Or
Yeah,
2.4. Yeah, that's right. So okay, so how are we going to get that done?
Yeah, so we have lots of different sponsorship naming rights available for the new building. Obviously, it's a beautiful space. So if people are interested, I'd love to chat. If they have businesses that they want to get their name behind UKAN, we obviously want to talk to you. But also just donations, right? If folks are wanting to get involved in a small way, they can go right to that page that you just referred to. So youcan.ca/building hope. And there's a donate form right there. Every dollar helps. So we're,
So true. And if every Edmontonian gave $2, we'd be almost done.
Yeah.
Right?
Or if
So-
somebody just gave 2.5
Right.
million.
Well, that's
We wouldn't
that
shake
goes
our
with
head at
that would
either.
be pretty sweet
That's gonna be
too.
really sweet.
Hey, never eliminate the possibility
true.
that there's somebody out there right now that perhaps has, that lived experience and this could resonate with them. Because
Totally.
honestly, the way that your team and that your alum tell the stories about what is happening here is so powerful.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to come see the space and see firsthand what we're doing, like my contact information is on that page as well. Katie and I would love to take you around. We're so prideful on this space.
Yeah.
We love
Well, you
taking
should
people.
be.
You got to see it firsthand. The first day we got it, actually, the day we got the keys, I think we brought you through.
I was
Which
waiting
pretty
outside
exciting,
when you
yeah.
showed up
Which
with
is
the
pretty
keys.
exciting.
Yeah, I had to
yeah.
go bug the realtor.
Yeah.
Ryan Jesperson's at the building. We need to get back.
And he's starting to look really no,
Yeah.
no, not at all. I was like so honored. We are so honored to partner with you and to support you in every possible
Thank
way that
you.
we can. We haven't even mentioned your UKAN comedy nights, but obviously Real Talkers are familiar with it because we talked a lot when those happened, and we'll be talking about them again when the next round is going. But I guess probably the point that I want to reiterate is that there is always something happening. It's really a remarkable, listen, we have to pick our spots, and we can only sort of do sincere advocacy for so many organizations, right? And when I connected first with Kyle and your team, and then you, and have got to know all of you, I'm like, this is just remarkable. And I say that from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that this audience can hear it every day, every episode when we talk about you. And I know that not everybody has $2.5 million that they can donate. I know that some of you do, but I know that not everybody does. But if you go to youcan.ca/building hope, look at this. You could make a $20 donation. You could make a $100 donation. You could make what would be great, a monthly commitment.
Yes.
And so the team at UKAN knows that they can count on your support through the year. You can accept individual or corporate donations. And of course, all of this is tax deductible as well.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so this is something we're going to be talking to Real Talkers a lot about, this capital campaign. We're proud to be a part of it. So proud to be, I don't know if do we get to say we're affiliated with you? I sure want to say so.
100%.
Please, yes,
I sure
please
want to
do.
say so. Because Kaylee, it comes back to what you were saying about communities, and it comes back to, what people expect. I mean, it's not tacky when we're talking about social services to talk about return to taxpayers. That's something people care about.
Yeah.
That's relevant.
100%.
And the return on this investment through UKAN is it's unparalleled. I haven't seen it anywhere else. With our Real Talk Roundtables, I can tell you got something you want to say. We want to give everybody a chance to make sure that we don't leave anything unsaid. So before we wrap, I want to give each of you a chance to kind of make one final statement. Katie?
I just loved what Bryce said about we're a family, because that's exactly what we're going for. And when I talked to Jenna and hired her, and we've recently hired some more new people too, that's what I've said to them, is we're a family.
Yeah.
And to hear it coming from Bryce, that's our goal, not just for the staff, but for the youth. We don't want to just bring them here, put them through a program, and then never see them again. We want them to come back. We want them to feel like this is home.
Yeah.
And this space that we're in actually allows them more space to create community. There's more places for them to sit and talk to each other and eat lunch together. And this space also enables us to double or even triple the amount of young people that we can provide programs to throughout the year.
Last word to you, Kaylee, and then we'll go to Jenna to wrap.
Of course. Well, thank you for having us, Ryan. We really enjoyed
It's
this.
a huge honor to have you here. We've been looking forward to this.
We're we love talking about the work that we do, because it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like, there's every single person that comes through the doors at UKAN, regardless of if they make it into a program, has interacted with some of our support staff and has engaged with them in some way. So the problem of youth justice is, it's not a pleasant one to discuss, but it's one that we need to focus on. These young people are the future generation of Edmonton. They're young Edmontonians that have been failed by certain systems, and they deserve the utmost respect and the utmost attention and the utmost care when it comes to bringing them back into like a safe situation. So we're excited to have the capacity to grow. We're excited to build more capacity in our young people. I'm really, really looking forward to serving more and more of Edmonton's young people and bringing them to like a really, really solid position of potentially, hopefully, economic independence eventually.
I love that. Jenna?
Yeah, first I want to just take this opportunity to say thank you to you, but also a lot of your followers, because a lot of your followers and anyone in Edmonton that does support UKAN, that has supported UKAN over the last 20 years, you're the reason why we got to be here today, right? Why we're in this building, why we're able to help youth. So I want to take that opportunity to say thank you. But also, as we continue to grow, thank you for people who are going to join us. And we're looking forward to building more relationships, building employment partners, and just getting our youth hired and getting our youth support. Thank you.
It feels like the future is in good hands. And
Hopefully,
what I love
yeah.
about it is you're not all here taking all the credit. You're empowering young people to put themselves in a position out of harm's way and onto a path of economic independence, as your website says, which I love. Everybody always talks about handouts versus hands up, and this is just a beautiful example, a case study, a success story of where this is happening. I want to also, Bryce is just off camera right now, so he can see me again. Credit you as well for doing just an incredible job today, buddy. Thank you for sharing your story, and to the entire team at UKAN for this. Again, Real Talkers, we will be sharing with you details on this capital campaign over the next year or two as we look to raise that money, unless, of course, one of you wants to shoot me a personal text and make that $2.5 million commitment. I'm not going to ease up on that. I'm going to keep applying the
Please
pressure
do.
as
Please do.
appropriate.
Okay.
But in the meantime, Real Talkers, as you walk with what you've just heard, let's count our blessings and let's realize that the investments that we make in fellow members of our community, our fellow human beings, truly are paying off when applied in intuitive and evidence-based directions. And that's exactly what the team at UKAN is doing, exuding empathy and creating opportunity and allowing these young people to continue to believe in themselves, like Bryce, or perhaps for the very first time, begin to believe in themselves in the bright future ahead. UKAN.ca is where you can learn more about this remarkable organization. You can always reach out to us as well to talk at ryanjesperson.com if you have any questions, or if you'd like us to make a direct connection with Katie Kitschke, the executive director, with Kaylee Willette, their youth outreach manager, and Jenna Sparrow, the fund development manager, all three joining us on this Real Talk Roundtable alongside proud alum Bryce McCartney. As we wrap this episode of the show, I want to let you know what's coming up next on Wednesday's episode. That's going to be the 17th of September. You have heard of Dr. Omar Muhammad. Actually, a remarkable story. Grew up, spent some time on the streets, became a pediatric dentist. Now he wants to be the next mayor of Edmonton. Most folks are counting out his campaign, but not him. Just wait, the most dynamic personality, you won't believe it. And then to follow him, Brian Thiessen wants to be the next mayor of Calgary. Back-to-back Jacks on the next episode of Real Talk. We'll talk to you then.
Real Talk is hosted by Ryan Jesperson, executive producer Josh Dunford, technical producer John Hicks, general manager Katie Cook-Chivers, account coordinator Lawrence Derlego, human resources Lena Shepard, website design Mike Johnston, voiceover by me, Carrie Skelton. Real Talk's editorial board is Supriya Dwivedi, Ahmed Ali, Brandy Morin, Ann Castleman, Corey Hogan, Harman Candola, Catherine O'Neill, and Chris Henderson. Member Emerita, Julie Rohr. Real Talk is recorded in Edmonton, Alberta on Treaty 6 territory, the traditional and ancestral territory of the Cree, Dene, Blackfoot, Saulteaux, and Nakota Sioux, home to the Métis settlements and the Métis Nation of Alberta. Real Talk is a relay project. For more, check out ryanjesperson.com.